Hello and welcome to Government Unit 5, the War on Terrorism. Make sure you have the proper worksheet. So most of you are too young to really have really strong memories of 2001, 9/11. But most of you are aware, all of you are probably aware of the devastation of that day. We've never had a terrorist attack ever like as powerful and as destructive and so well documented as that one. The problem is that unlike other times when America has been attacked, and we have engaged in war with other countries, we're not fighting another country this time. This was a group of rebels of their own faction that attacked us. And unlike the Soviets during the Cold War, we don't have a true target. I mean, we have leaders and stuff, but their ideas just get passed on. Now, they are supported by governments, and that has been the cause for the wars that we've been involved in. But these terrorists, especially in radical Islam, but many other terrorist groups that we've been following since then, they're not governments themselves, and it makes it very difficult because there's not a clear target. Like there's not one thing we can just look at to try to contain like we did with communism. George W. Bush, he was the president during at the time of 9/11, and not too long after that, he gave a speech where he said to the world, "We are going after the terrorists, and you are either with us or you are against us." And he, in his speech, he made it clear who this axis of evil was. These three nations that he targeted as the greatest enemies of democracy, freedom, and the greatest supporters of terrorists. The first was Iraq, and we went to war. And from 2003 to 2011, we were engaged in war in Iraq, and we still have forces there. We're still not completely pulled out of it, though we have effectively ended the war. And while we have forces over there, they're not. They're more like trying to peacekeep, trying to defend things, but they're not actively engaging the enemy if they can avoid it. Iran, that is the other enemy that was pointed out, and war potential is really high right now. And it has been for quite some time, to be honest. Iran, we've talked about in earlier videos, long history of anti-American feelings and activities supporting terrorists, and America's George Bush had it. He said, "You know what? You are a target now. We've let countries that support terrorists go untouched for too long, and we now are letting you know we're watching you. And if you don't shape up, you're next." And finally, North Korea. North Korea. South Korea is a friend of ours, training partner, wealthy country, great place to live, but not North Korea. North Korea is still strongly communist, close friends with the Chinese, not really on the brink of war with them, but many threats have been made from both sides. Afghanistan 2001, this is part of that September 11th legacy. We went into Afghanistan that before Iraq, 2001, because we knew that's where the terrorists who had Al-Qaeda, as they were known, they came from Afghanistan. We knew that, and we knew that the Taliban government had directly supported them. So we went in there to remove the Taliban, and we used that as an example. This is what happens if we find out your country is aiding and abetting terrorists. But while we were able to remove them from power, American terrorists are still around. So even though we won this battle, terrorists are not just Afghanistanian. They're not just Islamic even. They can be from all over. So this is the kind of war that may not even have an end, because how do you get people to stop hating you so much that they're willing to commit suicide to kill your people? And that's it. No more Edmodo. Write one good question about anything at all that you saw or heard in the video. That's on your worksheet, and I'll see you in class.